Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, may I please turn this over to Dr. Naba McKinney.
Yes, just wanted to take a moment. We have a birthday today, so we wanted to wish happy birthday to Dr. Paula Pendergrass with MNEA.
We're also going to ask Dr. Pendergrass to please come do the Pledge of Allegiance.
We put you to work on your birthday.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and happy birthday. As a point of personal reflection, Dr. P is super important to one of my little kids. I mean, both of them love her, but one of them in particular is a massive Dr. P fan. So I can't believe I didn't know. I'm sure he will tell me tonight when I see him that it was your birthday. All right. May I, I'm going to have a motion to adopt the agenda, but I need to amend it. So, excuse me, hold on. We're going to need a motion to amend the agenda as stated. I need to remove from the consent agenda 1E of special courses.
Motion to approve the agenda with 1E removed from the, separated from the consent agenda.
Second again.
All in favor? All right, thank you. Passes unanimously. All right. All right, so we will now begin with our awards and recognitions this evening. We have a number of them and even a special event experience for us that I'm really excited about. So, Dr. Battlefield, start us off.
All right, thank you so much, Chair Elrod, and good evening, board members. Our first recognition tonight goes to an amazing student choir from Nashville School of the Arts. Under the leadership of NSA Director of Choral Studies, Trey Jacobs, the altos and sopranos in Cantible, hope I got that right, will be performing for a national audience on Friday, February 24th at the American Choral Directors Association's conference in Cincinnati. They will perform for thousands of choral directors from across the country. And they are one of just 26 choirs and the only one from Tennessee selected to perform. This is an extremely high honor. This is an extremely high honor, and it is very well deserved. As you all are about to find out for yourselves, Mr. Jacobs and these students have been practicing for months for this big performance, and we are about to get a small preview. So please welcome the beautiful sounds that you're about to enjoy at this moment. Let's give them another warm welcome. right. Thank you to Mr. Jacobs and all of these students for spending part of your Valentine's Day with us. And we wish you the best of luck as you travel to Cincinnati next week. We know you're going to be wonderful representatives of Metro Nashville Public Schools as you were tonight. So congratulations again. Yes.
As a graduate of Fisk University, please go on and represent the traditional Jubilee Singers of Music City, USA. As you go on, you are a great example of their legacy. So thank you for your a cappella singing and that you'll be walking behind great steps and representing our Music City very well. So we're very proud of you.
Yes, could we have everyone come up for a photo? Just need a little help today.
That's okay.
Oh, no. Okay.
There's all girls choir. You say that's what's up. But I found a couple of books. Oh,
They're yours, right?
Things I try to make sure I take Christopher.
Oh God, I know.
Yeah, I want as soon as he's big enough to do theater. It is.
girl, get up in there.
NSA is district wide, but it is.
But it's her district. Yeah. It falls in her district. Sorry.
Thanks.
I love that you're going to look like you're a singer.
Right.
If you can't see me, I can't see your lovely faces. So that looks really good, guys. Good job. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take several pictures, probably like 3 or 4, and then I'll let you know when it's like.
You want us all to come in?
Yes. Or squeeze in a little bit more if you guys. This looks great. Here we go. Test shot, test shot. Okay, this is for real. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then backup plan right here. My phone. I love it. Oh, beautiful. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Great. Okay, anybody else? Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Really sing? I'm like, that's right. I can't sing. That's why I don't know.
Thank you. Y'all did great. Thanks.
I'd love to start every single
See you tomorrow. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, amazing. That's the way to kick off the board meeting. Again, congratulations to NSA. Safe travels to you all next week. Next, we have Roosevelt Sanders, our Director of Elementary and Middle School Athletics. Mr. Sanders, if you can come on up and just let me embarrass you for a moment as you do so. Roosevelt has been with MNPS since 1984 when he returned to his alma mater, Glencliff High School, to serve as a teacher and coach and then assistant principal and athletic director. In 2010, Roosevelt moved over here to the support hub to take over as MNPS athletic director. He has played a critical role in making things work smoothly for our teams on and off the court and the field and the track. Roosevelt has also been instrumental in launching our elementary cross-country and soccer programs this year. And and he has seen numerous MNPS teams win championships and has watched many student athletes go on to success at the college and professional levels. In fact, he was part of a very recent success story as the East Nashville Magnet Middle School boys basketball team won the state Class A championship on Saturday. This is capping MNPS's first year to have middle schools competing at the state level. We'll have more to say about that at a future meeting, but tonight it's about Roosevelt. For his consistent and selfless dedication to building and maintaining strong athletic programs, Roosevelt was recently honored by the TSSAA with his 2022-23 Distinguished Service Award. Roosevelt, this is a huge and fitting honor for you, and we're so proud and grateful to have you with us here on Team MNPS. Congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause before he comes up for a picture.
It's less crowded now.
Go 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Good. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
I know, right? So in the spirit of athletics, we'll continue tonight with celebrating 84 teams at 15 MNPS high schools that have won the 2022-23 Academic Achievement Awards from the TSSAA for the fall semester. So performing on the field, track, or court, and in the classroom. Each of these teams had a collective GPA of at least 3.0 for the semester. That is an impressive testament to their hard work, again, in and out of the classroom, their determination, and their excellent time management as they competed in high school basketball, golf, football, bowling, cross-country, wrestling, cheerleading, soccer, and volleyball. I'm not going to read every team from every school, but I do want to recognize each of the high schools whose teams have earned these academic honors. All right, and I'm going to have the representatives, I see many of our wonderful principals here tonight, come up to the podium as we recognize your schools. Antioch High School had 6 teams recognized. Cane Ridge High School had 1 team recognized. East Nashville, 3 teams. Flintcliff, 1 team. Hillsboro, 10 teams. Hillwood, 6 teams. Hume Fogg, 12 teams. Hunters Lane, 11 teams. Maplewood, 1 team. Martin Luther King, 11 teams. McGavick, 3 teams. John Overton, 6 teams. Pearl Cone, 2 teams. Stratford, 2 teams. And Whites Creek, 9 teams. All right, everybody, stay put for just a minute. I wanted to recognize the teams specifically who won these awards. So we had 4 boys basketball teams, 7 girls basketball teams, 5 boys bowling teams, 6 girls bowling teams, 8 cheerleading teams, 9 boys cross-country teams, 8 girls cross-country teams, 1 football team, 7 boys golf teams, 8 girls golf teams, 7 girls soccer teams, 10 volleyball teams, 3 boys wrestling teams, and 1 girls wrestling team. So let's give it up for all these high schools. One last word before I ask everyone, all the representatives to come up and take a picture, and every board member, I believe everyone is represented in the group that we're celebrating today. We're so proud of these student athletes for their commitment to both parts of that title, and we're proud of their teachers, coaches, principals, athletic directors too, their families, everyone who supported them. And since we couldn't fit 1,000 young people into the room tonight, I'd like to ask each school's representatives to join us up front for a quick photo, and please go back to your campuses, to your learning communities, and celebrate the young people and everyone who played a part in their success. Congratulations again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're really excited.
I don't think this is.
All right, y'all scoot up. Pull in.
You're kind of big enough.
I'm going to be the only board member in the middle. Okay, good. Cheryl came up.
All right, good. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
He's excellent. Tell me to come out and watch him play. I haven't seen him yet. I will. He got on the team over at Union, so they've been playing. He got a game Thursday, Saturday, and then 4 more games. But I tell him, yeah, he been having practice. Okay. Good to see you. Take care.
Congratulations.
That's fine. I don't care.
You can't even tell this donut for an hour. You want me to keep it here? You want me to keep going?
I'll just kick it back to you.
Say something real quick.
I really appreciate everybody being here, particularly with it being a holiday. I know usually our awards and recognitions are very well deserved, but usually what I would call sport. So I really appreciate the non-sporty recognitions as well, as that's what my life was in high school, and so Team Alto all the days. So I particularly loved that, and it was really wonderful. So I appreciate that we had that experience, that we were able to support all of those students. So good to see them here in front of us. So with that, we will pass it back over for director's report. We have a lot of information to cover, so I hope you have your presentations in front of you.
All right, thank you, Chair Elrod. Tonight, we do have two directors' report to update the board around connected to core tenant number 3. The first one will be our assessment update, and Chief Mason Bellamy will kick us off, and then we'll move into our rezoning update for the board tonight. So, Chief Bellamy, will you take us away?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Battle. Good evening, board, Chair Elrod. Thank you for your time this evening. We're excited to present our assessment update to you. You'll recall our last one was presented to you in the fall, so you'll see some similar looking slides as we set the stage for how we'll present this data in the coming years. And so I'm excited to introduce our team tonight. Dr. Stinson will be joining us first. I'll be doing my best Dr. Williams impersonation, as he's not with us tonight, to cover the benchmark data. And the most important guest, Principal Jackson from East Middle School, is here with us. He's got an important little guest with him too, if y'all see him back there. And he's going to talk to you about the great things happening at East Middle in regards to how they're using this data. So we wanted you to hear from boots on the ground practitioner and what the great things they're doing. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Stinson, and we'll jump right in. Thank you. That is my presentation.
About those zoning updates.
Yes.
Don't you know everything?
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody today on this Valentine's Day? I'm going to present an assessment update, as Dr. Bellamy said. As always, we ground ourselves in our core tenets, our signature initiatives, and our outcomes for the district. In this particular case, there's a lot that is circled. The core tenets are empowering and equipping all leaders at all levels, creating and engaging rigorous, personalized learning for students, for all students. We are looking at literacy and numeracy outcomes, and Literacy Reimagined is the signature initiative that is related to this. So, here are a few overview points. The district multi-tiered system of support winter assessment window was in January. Most of the month of January, school was in session. Over 37,000 students in grades 2 through 9 attempted the FastBridge reading and math assessments, and participation rates across the screening assessments was about 98%, which is the highest we have ever seen. This increases over 1,000 tests between reading and math. So that's good news. As was the case in the fall, district reading and math scores were comparable in the elementary grades, but math scores are actually a little higher than reading scores, not much, but a little, in grades 6 through 9. When compared to results from fall 2022, most of our scores improved. We had some decrease in reading in the first quintile, which is what we want to see, and a tiny bump in math. And the percent of students scoring in the top 2 quintiles, which we want to see go up, did go up from fall. The achievement gaps were either stable or improved for the majority across reading and math. So let's look at the quintiles. As you remember from me talking last year, these are averages across the country on a specific time pre-COVID. And these are scores reported from students taking the test. This is a screener test that we're looking at, and so students are not receiving their accommodations because the major reason we provide these to students is to screen them for needing extra support. These are just grades 2 through 9 that we are looking at this time. As I mentioned in the first slide, you can see this first quintile decreased a little bit from 47.3 to 46.3. This is exactly the kind of movement we want to see because the first quintile is the bottom 20% of students across the nation. Similarly, we saw a tiny bit of improvement in quintile 2, which we want to see that go down too. Average can go either way. We want to see it increase because we want students out of those bottom 2 quintiles, or decrease if it's the wrong reason. So it should stay about the same. We see a slight decrease. And increases in both quintiles 4 and 5, which is exactly what we want to see. We want to see that number going up through the year. For math, we see a very slight increase in the first quintile, which is not what we want to see, but we do see quintile 2 decreasing by more than that. So that's good news. Even though the bottom group grew just a tiny bit, the second to the bottom decreased. Average also decreased, and then when taken together, quintiles 4 and 5 did improve. So you see that biggest jump is in the percentage of students going into that top quintile, from most likely from the fourth quintile to the 5th. Next, we're going to look at a reading group growth by student group. So this is a but this is a different metric than you used to see. You used to see the percentage of students in MAP hitting their growth target. We took this time to revise that target because obviously we don't have MAP. And we thought about what we would want to see as parents. What I always wanted to see, my kid is a senior now, is that his percentile either stayed the same from what it was or improved. And so that is what we've chosen to do here. The little asterisk you see, the percentage of students maintaining or improving the percentile from fall to winter, is that we took out students' scores in the first percentile that stayed in the first percentile. The reason for that is if you're looking at maintaining or improving, the only thing students in the first percentile can do is maintain or improve. So we felt like this was a fairer representation because of those students. And now we could have also said the same thing about the 99th percentile, because the only thing you can do from the 99th percentile is stay the same or decrease. And statistically, that's what you would see, is some regression to the mean. But we didn't. So this number is depressed just a tiny bit from removing those lowest scoring students. And you can see that student groups have differing amounts of growth, all above the 50% mark, however, which is what we do want to see. There are some, one other difference here is that obviously we didn't show growth last time because there was no growth to show from one test. But we did change from showing English learners who are active English learners to limited English proficient students, which are the students receiving services or having waived services plus transitional students 1 through 4. So up to 4 years after exiting the English learning services, because this is what we are held accountable for by the state. So we, even though in prior years, all the way back, we've always shown just EL, we wanted to get consistent with the state at this time. Math shows a similar growth percentages. Again, removing the first to first percentile students just depresses these numbers just a little bit. Even so, they're all above the 50% mark. There's different rates of growth that we are looking into, as we always do, and as is the case for all data, there are other scores we are looking at to monitor growth. So this is a reading achievement by student group. So we just finished looking at growth, and we were looking at that percentage. This is the percentile, right? So the percentile is the percentage of students who are scoring at your or below your score. The median national percentile, again, is about 50. We're scoring at 25 for all students. That is, however, up from 23 in the fall, and that is something to be celebrated. Some of these groups look fantastic. American Indian, for example, it's big enough to report, but it's a very small subgroup, so you will see wild swings in a subgroup that small. Again, for reading, all of these achievement scores stayed the same or improved from the fall in reading. And in math, the 26 is stable from the prior test. We do have some of the student groups that have decreased, none by more than 1 percentile point. But, again, we are looking at whether our methods are reaching all students, and there's a high amount of variability in these tests anyway. Again, you'll see the LEP versus not LEP, whereas you had seen English learners before. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Williams.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stinson. Thank you again, board and Dr. Battle. I'm going to do my best David Williams impersonation. Those of y'all that know David know he's very well versed in the standards and all things academic. And so I will do my best to make him proud. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about our quarter 2 benchmarks. Before I get into it, though, I just want to remind the board of our move to our assessment suite. And so Dr. Stinson just talked to you about FastBridge and about A reading and A math, things that measure skill screeners, and then things that measure adaptive standards. Benchmarks are going to be aligned to our scope and sequence and to our state standards, and so they're really that missing third piece that we've previously not had. And so as we go through that, remember this is really our first year through the benchmark process, and it's really completes our assessment suite, and we're excited to talk further about that work. And so as I go through to set the stage for us a little bit on what happened with our benchmarks, these tests were given right before the holiday break in December. That's important to note because when schools came back in January, they had a few days of professional development, many of which our teachers and principals have reached out to thank the board and Dr. Battle and the calendar team for structuring in such a way to feel prepared to teach their students. So they had plenty of time to really roll up their sleeves and dig into this data. The data Dr. Stinson just presented, they're going through the MTSS structures now because that screening window just ended. So at the district, we always look at high-level trends to analyze, to determine where additional supports and resources might be needed. And again, this is happening at the school level as well. One takeaway I want everyone to come away with is state standards in Tennessee are extremely high. As such, our benchmarks are aligned accordingly, and our scope and sequence are aligned accordingly. And our students are doing a lot of learning and a lot of learning of heavy content. And so you'll see some of that in our presentation as well, which also means that our teachers are doing a lot of hard work in collaborative planning and presenting lessons and providing those resources to our students. There's definitely room for growth, and when we get to our higher levels of abstraction application questions, and as you'll see a theme throughout these slides, content matters. Our scope and sequence as it's presented matters. The great deal of content that our students are presented with and need to master and need to be presented with in order to be successful. And additionally, we still see a general struggle with non-traditional item types, and we'll have some examples of those later on in the presentation. And so we'll jump right into ELA. in our elementary grades. And so in ELA, we see standards are scaffolded and they run through the grade levels pretty well. In grade 3, for example, you'll see students did extremely well with determining the meaning of a word using the sentence at the context level. But in grade 4, we begin to struggle with it a little bit as that standard gets more rigorous. And so they take it out of the sentence level and they apply it to a passage level. So a student's faced with a lengthy passage to read, maybe lengthy depending on the relative to the passage. And then after that passage, they're presented with questions where they have to go back into the passage to identify resources, information to answer that. So we start to see a similar standard, but more struggle as that application happens. And then in 5th grade, they struggled using correlative conjunctions. And I'll pause for a second and you all think about your last time you used a correlative conjunction. I had to look that up to be ready for tonight. But it's as an example, that would be something like an if, then, either, or, neither, nor. And so our 5th grade students struggled a little bit to use those correctly.
That wasn't a Schoolhouse Rock.
Fair enough.
It was.
And as we move to middle school, and I'm not going to read each of these to you, I'm just going to touch on each one a little bit to drive home a few points we made in the beginning. In 6 and 8, you can see our students excelled using morphological elements as clues to the word or phrase, so root words with prefixes, suffixes to determine the meaning of the word. In grade 7, students had a hard time producing simple, compound, and complex sentences with effectively placed modifiers. I myself struggle with that. Moving a modifier around a sentence can change the sentence dramatically, and we see some struggles there. Additionally, we continue to see the trend of students struggling with multi-select and multi-part questions. As we move into mathematics, my slides are popping up out of order on me. My apologies. It did not do that in my office earlier. In grade 3, we can see students excelling in determining unknown numbers in a multiplication or division equation. So 6 times x equals 36, for example. But we do see them struggle with connecting the relationship between multiplication and division. So again, we start talking about learning a formula, applying that formula, and getting to further along in the abstract thinking of how they relate to one another. By grade 4, they're decomposing a fraction into a sum of fractions with the same denominator, and they excelled in that. And in grade 5, we see students excelling finding the area of a rectangle with fractional side lengths, but by 6th grade, we're struggling to extend that idea to volume with fractional side lengths. And so adding in that third dimension has been a struggle. We'll get to our middle school grades. And we will see that in 6th grade, we see students struggling to divide fractions by fractions. Also showing up in 7th grade, looking at unit rates associated with ratios of those fractions. By grade 8, we are seeing our students excelling in comparing properties of two functions represented in different ways. And so as I go through this, if you're activating your own mathematical knowledge, some of this is more foreign to you than others. Some of this you probably are readily accessing, right? Overall, we see students still struggle with multi-select items. At our last board meeting in the fall where we reviewed this data, Board Member Mays asked a question about what a multi-select item might look like, and so we thought this was a great opportunity to layer in one of these examples and go a little deeper for you as to what's actually being assessed here in this. So I'll give you a second to look at that question and think to yourself what grade level you feel like this might represent. This actually appeared in our December benchmarks on our 3rd grade math assessment. And so for our 3rd graders, they were asked to complete this question by choosing the 2 correct answers. So we're actually assessing several different levels of knowledge here. One, we're determining multiplication and division. As we mentioned earlier, our students do that well in isolation, including finding an unknown. We also mentioned they struggled connecting the 2 concepts. Students that can show they can do that succeeded more on this question than others. Beyond that, you're also addressing whether or not a student can identify an unknown in an equation in different places. And so many students succeed with the first example there in choice A, for example, 7 times blank equals 49. Where it starts to, 49 divided by 7 equals blank is a more traditional approach to that. Where it starts to become a struggle is that first selection, where the blank moves to the left side of the equal sign. And so really teaching the concept to our students that the equal sign is referring to both sides of an equation representing the same values. So we're assessing multiplication, division, the relationship between the 2, and the position of the unknown, in addition to whether or not they've seen an item type of this type before, having to choose both B and C to get it correct. So in this specific instance, if a child chose B and moved on, they did not receive credit for that, nor did they receive half credit for that. This was marked as an incorrect answer. If they just chose C, the same thing. If they chose anything other than B and C together, this question was scored as incorrect. And so you can start to see the level of information you can ascertain about your students when you see a question of this type, and when you dig into a standards-based assessment system that does this. They will also see this type of question on TN Ready TCAP type tests for sure. And so this is the multi-select type of item that Board Member Mays had asked about back in the fall. We wanted to take this opportunity to present it to you. I'll move rather quickly through science and social studies. So in our science standards, you can see in grade 3, students are learning about energy, and they excelled in understanding that a circuit with a light bulb, and that energy is changed into light and heat. In grade 4, they struggled to understand that plants receive matter from air and water to complete photosynthesis, and only nutrients from the soil. Again, had to brush up on that one a little bit myself to remind myself of all the elements that's going on. And in grade 5, we struggled to understand what happens during a lunar and solar eclipse, something I also Googled earlier today for myself to remember the difference between. So moving on to middle school. Don't ask me about that, Cherry Elrod. I see your wheels turning. Moving into middle school, we see our 6th grade students did well understanding the impact that humans have on the biosphere. And in 7th grade, understanding how the biosphere and atmosphere work to cycle carbon through photosynthesis. By grade 8, our students were excelling in understanding that scientists use spectroscopes to study the stars. And again, our students struggle with non-traditional item types of science. In social studies, we'll be a little quicker. We only have middle school results for social studies. Social studies benchmarks are not given in the elementary grades. So in grade 6, you can see where our students struggled with identifying supporting events on a timeline, but were very successful in demonstrating an understanding of the importance to the Nile River, seasons of farming and flooding to maximize crop yield. By grade 7, again, struggling to explain the importance of griots and the transmission of Western African history, oral storytellers in Western African history, but excelled in identifying the Niger River as a strategic hub for trade and exchange. And finishing up in 8th grade, our students struggled to interpret a political cartoon, determining the 2 purposes or 2 goals of the Monroe Doctrine, but excelled in understanding westward expansion led to the statehood of Tennessee and the importance of the first Constitution. Overall, our students struggled with non-traditional item types in social studies as well. And so before I move on to wrapping up this portion, I want to pause here and just talk a little bit about why we present this type of information to the board, such standard-specific granular information. Each of these items represent but one thing that was tested on that benchmark. Each of these benchmarks measured an entire quarter's worth of learning, or at least 4 or 5 of the most powerful standards in that quarter, across all subjects 3 through 8. So there's a great deal of information. And the main thing we want to take away is a reminder of just how much our students, our teachers, our staff, our principals are doing when they're going to collaborative planning, when they're planning to teach your children each day, when they get this data back and they roll up their sleeves and get right to work on saying what our students can do very well and what they may need more supports in doing as we go through the year. It highlights the type of analysis that our schools can go through and to get to the student level, the class level, the teacher level, the school level. At the district, we start looking at the network level, the tier level, quadrants, and we break this down by subgroup in every other way we can to determine where more supports for pushing can happen. And then ultimately, it's just a little insight into the powerful insight that our teachers gain around their students on a daily basis. Between Dr. Stinson's data that she presented, the data that I'm presenting to you tonight, you can see just how well informed our teachers are about our students' academic abilities, to say nothing of the social emotional learning through our navigator programs and things of that nature. And so moving on to our next steps, practice tests will be available ahead of quarter 3. It's important to state that we do not believe in stopping teaching to teach to a test. We do not believe in preparing in that way. But we do believe that our kids need to be equipped to handle any type of item that may come in front of them. So when I give an example of a multi-select item type, that's the kind of thing that we will release in our benchmark platform so that a teacher could, without assessing content, show students the type of item they may see, so the student can practice with it in a less high-stakes way and really become more comfortable with it long before they ever sit for either a benchmark or a state assessment where their learning will be assessed. We're going to look at all levels. Obviously, it's already been disaggregated at all levels to identify and address gaps in performance. That's happening. Principal Jackson's going to talk in just a second about what that might look like at East Middle, what that looked like all across the district in January, what's happening with MTSS teams right now. We'll be providing resources starting this Thursday to principals at PLN to support student success on TN Ready. So coming out of spring break, teachers will be able to go into Schoology, and they'll access any content that they teach that'll be on a TCAP or an EOC SE course. And if you're an 8th grade social studies teacher, you can go to your Schoology tab. You can select the standards that your kids may have struggled with in benchmark 1, 2, or 3, and at the touch of a button have at a minimum of a handful of resources for each of those standards to employ or to deploy in your teaching immediately. Benchmark and FastBridge data are available already in the parent portal, and there will be a Teams meeting on February the 27th. I believe we've already sent out one email about that yesterday that we would love to see all of our parents at, and board members certainly welcome. We would appreciate your support to ask questions about what your students' data may mean. I just said Benchmark and FastBridge are already available, but schools have further A Reading, A Math, along with other FAST data for progress monitoring. I mentioned what they did with those staff development days. We have another teacher planning day coming up on the 20th, another one prior to testing in April. And finally, we'll continue to analyze the relationship that we see between student projections generated from the data we have and where we see more supports might be needed as we get through the year. And typically we end with this, but tonight I'm going to move it up a little bit and let Principal Jackson end with y'all. So I'm going to call him up here in just a second. But how can the board support? So first, we would ask that you continue to support the use of a comprehensive assessment suite that identifies and supports student learning needs. And so I mentioned we've always had screener data, skills data. We've always had adaptive standards data. We now have grade level standards data, and that really completes the picture for us. And so continue to support that. Continue to be a champion for our teachers, our principals, and school communities as they use these systems to support students. It's truly amazing how much our teachers know about our students at this level, and continue to advocate and be their champion, and then continue to advocate for transparency and accountability systems utilized by the state. I will let Dr. Stinson field questions on this if we had them, but to this date, we still do not know the final accountability metrics that will be used this year. And we get more information regularly, but continue to advocate for that transparency. And without further ado, I'm going to call Principal Bruce Jackson from East Middle up here. Y'all heard they might have had a boys championship basketball team recently as well to celebrate, so I think he's on a high as a principal right now. And I would love for him to talk to you about what's going on at East, the great things that we're seeing academically there as well. So, Principal Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Bellamy, for the introduction. Thank you, Dr. Battle and board, for the opportunity to speak tonight about the success of the teachers at East Middle Magnet, and I think more importantly, the success of the students. As we know, that's what we're in it for. Just to have them come in and work with them for 4 years and see them grow in that time period really is the most important thing we can do, not just for them, but our community as well, with them being the future of not just Nashville, but, you know, our world. And when we look around and see a lot of the challenges going on right now and the worries that we have about what's going to happen next, it's kind of a reassuring space for me to operate in, to know that when I look at some of the kids at East Middle, that I can, you know, feel confident that they have a bright future ahead of them because of the work that we're putting in with them right now and the results that we're getting. Just kind of looking at our journey and where we are right now, we serve around 250, 260 students, with just about half of them being economically disadvantaged, staff about 30 teachers or so. Looking at our results from last year, we were actually able to finish extremely well and be categorized as a level 5 school in the district, and finishing at about 0.2 percentage points away from actually being a reward school. Yeah, so, you know, going into this year, the main thing I wanted to focus on with the staff was we have to keep this energy going. It's great to understand and recognize the hard work that we've done up to this point, but that does not mean that we stop. Nothing stays the same. So if you don't keep pushing forward, you're either going to move backwards, but in order to move forward, that has to be done with purpose. So we focused our efforts this year into 4 different areas: attendance, behavior, student engagement, and then, of course, academic growth. So currently, when we're looking at our students, having an average attendance rate of 94%, and then looking at our chronic absentee rate of 18%. So that's one area that we're really proud of, is making sure that our students get to school and creating a space that they actually want to be in. Making sure that those barriers are not up that will give excuses for kids to not come and parents not feel welcome in the school community. The strategies that we use in the community are just continuing to push and push and push and push with the staff that culture is vitally important to success. And it's not just teacher to student, it's also student to student, teacher to teacher as well, and then also teachers and student to the external school community, so all stakeholders involved have the feeling of being welcomed and being comfortable in the school building when you come over. We have to understand, we have to take ownership of the idea that if that comfort level and that community feeling is not there, then it makes the job of educating children that much harder. So we try to tap into community resources, partnering with great organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, YMCA, community centers in the area, just making sure that our students have multiple outlets of support, not just present to them, but also pushed in their face often, so they understand that when we talk about community and their development, it's actually not just lip service, it's actually in place for them. What we found that with using those strategies, it has improved student engagement, not only in the classroom, but also from just their stance in the building, and we can hear it in their voices when they feel like they're part of a community that actually values them as individuals. As far as our data goes, noticing that 13% of our student population has any level of discipline at all that we were categorized as an incident, and only around 2% of them actually facing out-of-school suspension. And so, of course, being very proud of the fact that we're on track to meet our goals with our students with disabilities and economically disadvantaged students. That work kind of lives in the understanding that just because a student has an action, that doesn't always mean that it's an incident, okay? And if we understand that an action doesn't always equate to an incident, then that means the reaction to that action does not always mean removal from the learning environment. Now, that definitely means that our teachers and our administrative staff has to be not just comfortable with the idea of the art of conversation, but also has to really be bought into the idea that just because you suspend a kid, that does not mean it's going to change their behavior. Okay? We all know that if a penalty changed the behavior, then everyone who's ever been arrested or pulled over would only be arrested or pulled over one time, right? So we know that's not the case if we check our driving record and see how many speeding tickets we may have had in our past. All right?
No, never.
Well, not anybody in this room I was talking about. So if we own that understanding for adults, and we have to overly own that understanding for our children because the maturity level is not even there with them, right? So when we're looking at our students, a lot of our work and conversation with them lives in restorative practices, supported by the SEL department. It lives in, things being put in place like the Peace Room this year, where we're getting out of the habit of, come on, what happened? I'm listening, but I'm not really. Now it's time to tell you for how many days you have at the house. Using those mediation strategies with our students, having them sit down and talk about whatever the issue is to come to a conclusion that works best for not just them, but the school community. And I think also more importantly, getting young people to understand the ripple effect of their actions and their behavior on the community at large. And having, spaces like the Peace Room where you can actually sit down and have those extended conversations as long as they need to take, because there's not a rush on understanding when it comes to changing people and their behavior, right? Really has helped us a lot. in improving student behavior, lessening student discipline, and then also just improving the classroom environment overall. So once we have stepped into that space and then minimize the number of student discipline issues, then of course you can roll up your sleeves and get to the real work, which is the process of teaching and learning. And I really want to applaud the teachers of East Middle Magnet for the commitment that they've made to not only just taking opportunities for planning to just plan, and we're going to have the meeting for the meeting, and then we create the plan and then sit around and talk about the plan, but actually taking the plan and putting it into action. So actually living in the space of action and being very comfortable with the idea of there's an action, then there's the reaction, and the reaction comes in the form of feedback, which is actionable for us to take the next step of correction in order to improve engagement and instruction in the classroom for our students. So a few of those areas that we focus on really is the collaborative planning piece with our teachers, making sure that we're not just doing things or operating on, I felt good about my lesson. What does that mean? So we're having a data-driven lesson planning sessions, whether it be grade level wise or whether it be content level. Making sure that we don't just sit and we come to the classroom, but there's also the most important part in the process, which is the feedback present. Because if I don't know how I can improve and no one's ever told me that, then I'm going to keep on doing the same thing, making the assumption that I'm good, right? And it's not about highlighting where you're bad. It's about pumping up the fact that you've done an awesome job so far. Let's do an even better job after that, right? So those areas and conversations exist in that space of that professional development and creating that learning community that is representative, not just with students, but a learning community with our teachers as well. So it kind of means something when a teacher has in their signature line, lifelong learner. Yeah, you are a lifelong learner. Your professional development opportunities in this building are equitable to the students in the classroom. So we take that very serious. One area that I'm really proud of for our students and our school in general is our certification as an international baccalaureate school. And a lot of that work and support came from the Office of Advanced Academics and continues to support us to this day. If you've had a conversation with younger people today, you understand two things about them. They do very well with pulling information. They're masters of it. They can get it off the phone. I call my kids tech support if something's going on at the house. I mean, they can come with the information for you. What to do with that information, problem solving, if it's not scripted out for them, is where they tend to struggle. And then I think if you look at the reflections of some of our benchmark data just for the district, like Dr. Bellamy just talked about, uncommon tasks. I don't necessarily have the framework, so I struggle with my understanding on it. It's not that they can't do it, it's just they don't have the context. So one of the things that IB has offered us is a lens, a conceptual lens to teach through for our students to walk through and get that understanding, and as a result is showing, paying the dividends in the classroom with their growth. Project-based learning, novel studies. We just recently had a science fair, but again, the conceptual side is not just a science fair where you actually collect information and put it on a board, but it's an inquiry-based science fair where you're actually asking a question and then going through an inquiry process to present solutions to. The IB community-based project. And then the last piece, of course, speaks to the school community aspect that I was talking about earlier, utilizing tools like live school and grade level incentives to make sure that students are encouraged to keep doing what they're supposed to do for their success. And so from that, we kind of look at our academic trends for the school, with the majority of our grade level students showing growth improvement in ELA, math, and science benchmarks. In ELA, 22% more of our students being projected to score proficient on TCAP. In math, the number of students projected to score proficient on TCAP more than doubling, which, I mean, it's amazing for our kiddos. Looking at the winter screening of FAST, and that's one area I really want to hang our hat on, is it's not a select group of students that are showing these results, because 98% of our students are being screened and tested. So this is the school community, right? Then when we're looking at some of our adults, our results, looking at the reduction of high-risk students and moving them to the low-risk category from reading, we're talking about 50 to 74%. For math, we're talking about 36 to 56%. So, yeah. And I think that's kind of like that's the goal. That when we looked at those 4 areas at the beginning, this is what we're looking for. Not just the feeling, the data to support that our students are moving in the right direction. Some of the things that we do have in place, the data protocols for benchmarks, again, we're talking about the reflection on performance-based standards, making sure that our students are exposed to the type of assessment questions that they're going to have to look at. So if I give you an assessment, it's written TCAP style. It's actually a rigorous assessment, okay? Analyzing the data and looking at the trends. We are very blessed to be a data-rich district. And so actually using those assessments, using that data to make informed decisions about our students and their progress and pedagogy used. And then planning remediation for them, which, moves us over to our intervention side of the slide, where understanding that PLT, that personal learning time, is a fluid space for kids to exist in, right? So that's where, if you want to talk about a reaction that could move the needle in one way or the other, that's unpredictable, that's where it lives at, So constantly looking at the data, making sure that our students are placed appropriately, and always in the rigorous space to push them. We can't stay in the same place. Okay, and that's where East Middle Magnet is at now. Like I said, we're extremely proud of all that we've accomplished, not just on the field of play, but more so in the classroom, because everyone has the opportunity to do that. And getting that state championship of a level 5 in the classroom is what we need. Thank you for your time.
Dr. Battle, we'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you all for walking us through our assessment update. It's definitely good to hear from our suite of assessments where we are as a district, and always so inspiring to hear from our principal leaders around what this looks like at the school level and how our teacher teams are responding to our students, because we are a district on a mission of every student being known. And so just to take it from not only the achievement aspect, but what's happening throughout and within the school to support the whole child is so critically important. So thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Chair Elrod.
All right, thank you. What questions do we have? I'll start with Frida.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I'm glad that, I guess Christian should be glad that we only have one employee, Dr. Battle, because Mr. Jackson, I would recruit you away from board member Bugs to be in my district, but I hope you do a great job of really explaining what happens in the school and doing it in layman's terms and really showing the connection of what Dr. Stinson and Dr. Bellamy really put in. And I wish we could take you on the road to the public to really understand how it all fits together. And it's not just a simple, let's just teach to the test or teach whether that it's really to the whole child and how it all integrates and the culture integrates and what we need when we ask for financial resources from the mayor and to the council, it's really to accomplish everything that you're doing at East Nashville and how you need to replicate that to all the middle schools and to really show how it all works together, and you just can't do one thing at a time. So thank you for all the hard work that you do, and I'm just really proud that you are a part of our district. And yeah, because if I would, I used to be a lobbyist, and I would recruit you away. But anyway.
I don't have a question. I also have a comment. Thank you, Mr. Jackson, thank you, Dr. Bellamy and Dr. Stinson as well for your presentations, but I really appreciated Mr. Jackson's him walking through the process to give us a visual presentation of how the work that you're doing at the district level is really being implemented within the school and across classrooms to really address that. Oftentimes, I always say we have to Maslow before we bloom, and so it's great to hear that we're really working to eliminate the barriers so that teaching and learning can take place across our school, and that requires an intentional and strategic culture within your school to create that learning environment and for success to continue to happen. So thank you for your work and thank you for your team's work. Please share that with them about the amazing work that you're doing. I just had a conversation with Dr. Battle about that, so I told her this is right on time for that visual presentation of really seeing this work in action and seeing the amazing work that we're doing in schools across the district. So thank you again. Thank you all.
Erin?
So I do actually have some comments, and then I do have some questions as well. I want to start from the comment perspective. I'm particularly encouraged by the math scores going up in middle school math. I know that's an area just from the perspective of like state tests, et cetera, that we've struggled in. So that was great to see. And that in both reading and math, we're seeing more than 50% of our students maintaining or improving, that's exactly, what we want to be doing is seeing that growth in the positive direction. And as a parent, I just want to say thanks. I know when we talked about this stuff in the fall, we talked about what you all were going to provide to parents. So first of all, the parent portal has gotten so much better. Like even in the last, I don't know, honestly 2 weeks probably. I'm a frequent parent portal checker. So a couple things I just wanted to compliment everyone on. One, like the relationship now between the parent portal and Schoology is fantastic with like assignments. So if you're a parent, you can go on the parent portal, you can see my kid has 2 assignments. There's a dashboard at the front. It's got the newest picture of your kid. You can see that your kid has 2 assignments due tomorrow, that they just had these tests, that they've got these other stuff going on. You can find the latest assessment data. So all of this data for your own child is on there. And as we talked about in the fall, it very clearly says if your child maintained or improved over their fall test in the winter. This is all, like, as a parent, just it's so, so helpful for when I go and talk to my kids, when I think about what they're learning, et cetera. So I just like mad props on all of that. So now my questions. So this was an excellent presentation of what you are doing at East, and thank you so much, Mr. Jackson, for this. And it like made, as everyone has said, very, very clear from the perspective of what are the overall goals of the district and how are we bringing that down at the level of the school and what are we specifically doing. So, but when we look at this, still we have something like, 47, 48% of our kids scoring in that lowest tier. We have our Black and ED students are in the lowest of the growth in A reading and A math, and again, more than 50% of the kids moving forward, right, growing. So when you all think about going into schools that maybe aren't having the same level of success with all of their students as East seems to be doing, what are you looking for in order to continue to get better and to sort of try and have all our schools doing the same kinds of stuff that East is doing?
Dr. Bellamy.
Thank you for the question. So I think it's first important to know the level of support and how we assign that support. So when we identify a school that might not be making the gains that we see at East, or that making the gains for a particular subgroup or an entire student body that we want to see, the first conversation starts with that executive director and going into the school and examining processes that are in place. And so you heard Principal Jackson talk about the processes they use, their MTSS structures, of which we have professional development for MTSS meetings multiple times a year. And so every school will bring a team of professionals to those meetings and get those resources and come up to date with the most current strategies to select, right? And so if we identify that those strategies are not working, then the next layer of support will be to really dig into the systems and structures at that school level and determine why. So you don't want to look at a broad percentage of this school has this percent doing this. You want to dig in at the student level. And oftentimes it's hard to do that from behind a computer screen here at the support hub. And so we have a team of people in curriculum and teaching and learning through our MTSS office, Katie Patullo runs. We have data coaches that are excellent at helping schools get in and diagnose that all the way down to a student level, to a teacher level. And we rely on MTSS processes. So you go through and you provide an intervention for a solid 4.5 to 5 weeks. You see if the child's responding to that intervention, and if they're not, then you change the intervention, right, or the interventionist or some other method. And so at its core, it's drilling down to the processes at that school level to see what may be working well and what may be a hindrance. Generally speaking, it's finding the right support and the right resource for that teacher or for that student or for a group of teachers or students.
And you all are sort of norming that across your executive directors and
Absolutely.
folks. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that, for the opportunity to speak on that. And reducing variance and how we supervise our schools is a passion of mine. I get that doesn't sound like something a person would be passionate about, but it definitely is mine. And making sure that our executive directors all are utilizing the same language, the same playbook, which we actually refer to as the playbook, and the things that we know work. And so they are in schools at a minimum of 4 days a week, 8 visits a week across those 4 days, and they're looking for exactly those things. And then if we see success in one network and not another, we connect our EDs just like you would, teacher. What's working for you? What's not working here? And we diagnose it that way.
Thanks. It's super helpful to hear. And Dr. Battle, as you always say, right, know where you are and
But don't stay
there. This seems like a really excellent example of you all putting your money where your mouth is on knowing where you are, explaining it to us, and showing us how you aren't going to stay there. So thank you.
Thank you. Abigail.
Yeah, thank you for this presentation. It's really, really helpful. And it's really exciting to see what's going on in East Nashville Magnet. It's really, really exciting to see that. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to come out here and speak to us about it. I had a couple of kind of just process questions, I guess. Dr. Stinson, you said that we changed from EL to limited English proficient. What's the difference between those two groups?
And this language varies across the state, but what we consider EL are active English learners or students eligible for those services. Sometimes those services are waived by the parent. So those are active EL students. LEP, Limited English Proficient, is those students plus those students who transitioned out of EL services in the last 4 years. And that is what we are held accountable for every single metric in our state accountability system. So we figured that it was time to change that here as well.
That's helpful. And then I had a question about our, we removed our Q1 students because they're all going to meet that benchmark because they're all going to stay or grow. That's just the definition, right?
It's not our Q1 students, percentile 1 students.
Percentile ones, okay.
So if you're at the first percentile, that means really, 1% or less of the students nationwide are below you. And sometimes that can just be, you have a disability, right? We're testing all of our students and including those, we are blanketing. So if you are in that percentile, you cannot help but stay the same or move up. And there's actually quite a lot of room for improvement within the first percentile, but we can't measure it. Right. So we thought that for the purposes of this presentation, we would remove those students. If those students had not been removed, English would have been something like 62%. But we figured meeting or exceeding your prior percentile when it's at the first was not an accurate, as accurate of representation as we wanted. So we went with the lower figure.
Then on the flip side, with our 99th percentile, those were left in.
Those were left in.
Or those were also pulled out.
Right. We could have gone on both sides. It would be justified either way, but we decided to leave those in because we want those 99th percentile students to stay at the 99th percentile. We do not, yes, there's regression to the mean, like our statistical models would show that if you're at the 99th percentile, you would be projected to be at the 97th, say, right? But we don't want that. We want them to stay where they are, or, we even want those, students who are at that percentile to have the opportunity to grow.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate you explaining it a lot more in detail. Do you have a question about that?
No.
Okay. And then I had a question about our all this data is so. I know that we heard that we are a very data rich, and I love that description of it, a very data rich district. And so I just was wondering, and are these are all separate tests, right? Because they're all testing different things. Is that right? Okay, so I just was trying to figure out.
Two different. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and so and I figure, it takes like a day for one kid, it'll be like one reading period would be one A reading test for that day for that kid, and then they'd go back to the next day, they'd go back to learning. Or is this a multi-day test? How do we?
No. Go ahead, Dr. Bellamy.
Depending on the test, so the screening window is composed of A reading and then a variety of different fast screeners. And that can be, depending on the grade level, administered in a variety of different ways. The benchmark is designed to be given in less than one class period. And so we were shooting for around 45 minutes or less. In middle school, a little bit more because they have longer class periods. Overall, in a side-by-side comparison of what we used to do with MAP tests, that's an adaptive screener that can take significantly longer the more rigorous it gets. In a side-by-side comparison, we believe we have less testing time this year than years past, even though we've increased the amount of information we're getting. Albeit the window is different. MAP and screeners used to all be given at the same time, and then nothing until that screening window again, and now benchmarks happen at the quarterly. So across the year, there are more days where a test might be given, but across the year, we believe that there's actually less test time or comparable test time.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I have no problem with making sure that if the data that we're getting is helpful, then we need to get it. We need to make sure that we are finding a way to get it that's valid and is going to tell us what we need to know about what our next step should be. So I'm not usually a fan of taking time away from kids to test, but in this case, I feel like it is completely justified because we have to have this information to know how we're going to teach. So we're not taking time away from teaching to give them this test. We're actually bolstering what our teachers will be able to do moving forward. So I think that's an important distinction in general.
And I'll just say that was a significant reason behind the change in our suite of assessments. Because when you're talking about the detail that we're able to see now, particularly with the benchmark assessments, that is much different from what we're able to pull from MAP, if you will, being able to see the questions and to be able to dissect exactly where students are missing or getting it right.
And then my last kind of question about the benchmark test is, so clearly we have to keep moving through our benchmarks because you have to hit all of them by the end of the school year. So if you find that you've got a group of kids who are struggling on a specific benchmark, but you're supposed to have already moved on, what's the kind of protocol for how do we make sure that they understand that so we can move forward and we don't lose time? Do we have a protocol?
We have several data analysis protocols and talented folks in teaching and learning that can come in and work on just those things. So you want a curriculum expert to come in so that you don't have to stop progression of the scope and sequence to catch up and stay in this cycle of always being 2 and 3 weeks behind, to get back on scope and sequence and adapt your teaching in other ways. And so we certainly have small group efforts. That's a great way to do that. We have a variety of different strategies. When I mentioned the resources we'll be rolling out soon, whether it's through bell ringers or a variety of other ways. Of course, we have our Accelerating Scholars, which is really grounded in Tier 1 tutoring support, not skills, and so that would be a great place to plug into that as well. At the end of the day, this is a very specific diagnostic for each group of children, right? And so every teacher is going to have to be equipped to make some of those decisions. They're going to need to be supported in making those decisions. We're going to need to be understanding when they make those decisions. And so any school teacher or coach or principal out there that needs help in figuring that out, or if it just seems to gotten too complex or want another set of eyes, they need to reach out to their coach. They can reach out to their ED, and we have what feels to me like an endless supply of talented folks in the teaching and learning department that I haven't given enough shout out to tonight. They've done a lot of work behind the scenes to provide these things as well, and so I hope that got to answer it.
And if I can just echo what the beauty of being able to do walkthroughs in schools, we have observed many of our school teams doing exactly what you're talking about. They've dug into their benchmark assessments. They've planned accordingly. They've laid out their instructional design to attack some of the challenges at the beginning of the classroom, really integrate that throughout their lesson, at the same time progress through their scope and sequence. And so I've seen it on the ground at about every grade level and every tier across the district in that approach. And I'll also give a shout out to the instructional leadership teams at every school, which we now consistently have in place as a structure to help design your normal Tier 1 lessons, but also once we get feedback and data back, how to respond to it.
All right. Well, I really appreciate this. It's been very informative. Thank you very much.
So I have one kind of a tangential question as I'm trying to wrap my mind around the third grade assessment, with the bill. There is not a cut score that we're looking for students to meet. In other words, if it's a 45-question test, with our data, we're not saying a child needs to get 30 of those 45 correct to be considered proficient or in a certain quintile.
It changes every year.
Right. Okay, so Dr. Stinson, if you want to just talk about how cut scores work, that might
It's cohort-based. I really want to be able to reiterate it for families, especially those families that are looking and trying to figure out how they might be able to count how many questions. And I'm like, no, that's not it. It really will change cohort to cohort based on how many each, children get right. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
And it will change cohort to cohort through our years going forward with this bill. So there's not a simple answer to that, but we actually did outsource the cut scores for these particular benchmarks to Illuminate, and then do a lot of checking of them on the back end. And we're a little on the conservative side because we'd rather, under promise and overperform, right? But we are also aware that the point of these tests is not solely to predict TCAP performance. I mean, it is taken in a whole, right? But when we sent letters in the fall and we're getting ready to send them again, we used every bit of available information to analyze where we believe a student would be. That would be their second grade scores if we had them, all of their third grade data that we have on test scores. Because kids have bad days and good days, we don't want to rely like, oh, you were at the second percentile on test one, but the 40th on test 2. We don't want to say, oh, that means you're good, right? Also in the letters, we were very careful about sort of a bubble zone. We don't want parents to think that their kids are fine when they're really on the line, and it could go either way.
Sure.
And, you know, we can't predict TCAP results perfectly. Plus, there's a second opportunity for kids to take that test. So we just were very conservative and used all of the data we can. So if they see that they're meeting or exceeding on the second benchmark, that's great. They're probably going to be fine, but we don't want to give them a false sense of security if they were also below on the first one, or vice versa. We don't want them to panic if they see below on the second one and if they had a cold, right? So we are trying to take all the data together and with large grains of salt.
So, Dr. Stinson, zooming out just a little bit around cut scores. Are cut scores set before or after testing?
They are set after testing. The company uses a regression model, and again, we do check this. They are set after, and they are meant to align to how students who are, similar in background, background test scores, for example, have done. So if we saw, for example, great, 95% of our kids are meeting or exceeding expectations, well, we might celebrate, but we would dig, right? Because there's nowhere in the state that's getting that kind of data. We need it to be roughly. It's not exactly equivalent, but if you do a model with a regression, you're looking at the predictive factors going forward. So that's what they're doing, and we're double checking that there's nothing wacky happening.
I can vouch for that. Having been at the state, that MNPS will closely double check to make sure that there's nothing wonky going on.
Sorry about that.
It's good. It's good. It's how it should be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for answering all these questions. And we will move on to the Achievement School District.
Thank you, team.
Thank you. We're clapping for data, man.
That sounds about right.
At this time, we'll move to the second director's report regarding rezoning of student zone for Needless Bend Middle School related to action taken by the State Charter School Commission. You will notice that you will hear from various leaders during this update. There has taken a high level of coordination amongst our team in response to this emergency situation. I'm proud of the way that they have collaborated and really dug into this particular scenario. So at this time, I will kick it over to Dr. Bellamy, who will kick it off. And again, you will hear from a number of our leaders across various departments to lead us through this update.
Good evening once again, board members, Madam Chair, Dr. Battle.
Oh, hang on one second. If this were as planned, Chief Renita Perry will be kicking us off this morning, but she had her first grandbaby yesterday. So we're so happy for her, and so she is with mom and baby right now, as she should be.
Yes.
And so Chief Bellamy is going to step in and share this update because we all work so closely together. Thank you, Chief.
Absolutely. I'm happy to fill in for my partner in crime, Chief Perry, while she is dealing with more important tasks as a grandmother. So congratulations to Renita and Jada and baby Jay.
Baby Jay.
Baby Jay, I believe. So congratulations. So thank you again, Madam Chair, members of the board, Director Battle. We appreciate the opportunity to present this proposal, which is a collaboration between the Office of the Schools of Innovation and our Office of Operations. Chief Perry, Chief Sullivan, and their teams have worked to present the history of how we got to this unprecedented situation brought about by the change change in LEA for Lead Neely's Bend Middle School from the Achievement School District to the Tennessee Charter Commission. Even under these given circumstances, MNPS has the opportunity to build on further academic success of two of our existing elementary schools. I'm referring to Amqui Elementary and Neely's Bend, two reward schools from this previous year. In this proposal, you're going to hear from the Office of Charter Schools, who will present the history, the context, and the impact on the decision of the Tennessee Charter Commission. And I'm going to turn it over to Chief Sullivan here in just a second, who's going to give you a high-leverage overview of her team's presentation, and she will be followed by Director Roby Grant from the Office of Charter Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Perry. Stand in for.
First, Dr. Williams. No.
Yeah, he's magic tonight. No, thank you so much, Chief Bellamy. Appreciate it, and members of the board, Dr. Battle. Thank you for allowing us to come before you. As Mason indicated, we are in an emergency situation, unprecedented situation for us, and I'm so proud that our teams came together so quickly to find a response, and because what's most important is that our families and students all have a great place to go to school, and whatever choice that is for them in this area, and that we have an attendance zone that meets their needs. So you'll hear after Director Roby Grant, you'll hear from Ryan Latimer, our Director of Enrollment and Boundary Planning, who will review the collaborative work that his office has done with our great facilities planning team of Casey Mego and David Proffitt. You'll see a review of our current enrollment, our attendance zones, and an option that we're proposing for addressing this emergency situation in order to, as I said, ensure that all students and families have a seamless attendance zone, feel like they have feel confident in their path and are ready for next school year. Please know that while it's not shown here, that our team has reviewed many different possibilities to respond to this attendance zone change, and we are ready to recommend this proposal to you that you'll see tonight as the best option for families and students. After this presentation, we will have a community meeting, as you'll hear in the presentation, and then be back to you for a vote at the next board meeting as we gather more information and continue to flesh out this plan. So no vote needed tonight, but just to give y'all a preview of what we're looking at and where we are. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the real experts here, Dr. Grant and then Ryan Latimer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Sullivan. So the Office of Charter Schools will provide some historical knowledge of the Achievement School District and then give you some context on how we got to this situation. So as it pertains to the oversight of just charter schools in Nashville, the Metropolitan Nashville Public School District is the LEA of 27 charter schools. The Tennessee Charter Commission is the LEA of 8 charter schools. And the Achievement School District is the LEA of 2 charter schools, which is a total of 37 charter schools residing in the Davidson County area. As you know, each LEA operates differently, and I would like to take this opportunity to provide some history of the Achievement School District. The Achievement School District was created to improve student achievement in Tennessee's priority schools, which are considered those schools in the bottom 5% in the state. The original goal of the ASD was to move the academic performance of schools taken from the bottom 5% of schools to the top quartile of schools in Tennessee within 5 years. Tennessee received funding from the federal government to create the Achievement School District when it was granted Race to the Top funding from the United States Department of Education in 2010. In 2012, Brick Church College Prep, a 5A middle school, opened and currently enrolls approximately 227 students. In 2015, Lead Neely's Bend College Prep, a 5-8 middle school, opened and currently enrolls approximately 368 students. These schools have been operating in Davidson County for years under the LEA of the Achievement School District. On October the 14th, 2022, the governing board of Lead Neely's Bend College Prep submitted a letter of intent to the Tennessee Charter Commission expressing its intention to file a charter school application with its LEA. This letter of intent was followed up with the governing board of Lead Neely's Bend College Prep Public School with an official charter school application on November 15th, 2022. On December the 14th, 2022, the Tennessee Charter Commission staff held a public hearing at Lead Neely's Bend College Prep. At that public hearing, presentations from Lead Neely's Bend College Prep and MNPS were presented to the Charter Commission staff. On January the 18th, the MNPS Charter School Office was notified by the Tennessee Charter Commission Deputy Director of Authorizing the Executive Director's recommendation. It was determined by the Executive Director of the Commission that the decision to approve the application for Lead Neely's Bend College Prep is in the best interest of the students, the LEA, the community, and recommended that the Commission members approve the application for Lead Neely's Bend College Prep. On January the 27th, 2023, the Tennessee Charter Commission members voted to uphold the recommendation of the Executive Director and approve the application of Lead Neely's Bend College Prep. Upon approval of the contractual agreement, Lead Neely's Bend College Prep will be authorized by the Tennessee Charter Commission as an open enrollment LEA and no longer authorized by the Achievement School District as a zoned LEA. The MNPS Office of Charter Schools and Boundary Planning and Enrollment Forecasting Division are working collaboratively with other internal departments within MNPS to determine next steps regarding transition planning, to include but not limited to the data systems, facilities, and current contracted services. In addition, meetings with the Tennessee Charter Commission have been conducted and future meetings scheduled to discuss next steps for transition of existing contracted service as well as zoning communication to families. MNPS's goal is to ensure that all students who are currently zoned to Lead Neely's Bend College Prep will have a guaranteed seat with an MNPS school. I will turn it over to our MNPS operations team to discuss next steps and recommendations for our zone students.
Thank you, Dr. Roby Grant. Good evening, board members and Dr. Battle. As the Director for Boundary Planning, monitoring attendance zones and recommend changes when the needs arises falls to my department, and that's the situation we find ourselves in today. With Neely's Bend College Prep becoming a choice-only school, they will no longer have a direct attendance zone and instead will be open to any student within Davidson County that wishes to apply and attend. And so this leaves a gap in the zoning for 6th through 8th grades and a gap in their feeder pathway on into Hunter's Lane. So the next few slides are going to go over our proposal on how to address those issues. And as Chief Sullivan mentioned, internally we did review several options, and what we're going to propose is that Amqui and Neely's Bend elementary schools be converted to a pre-K through 8th grade structure, beginning with the 6th grade in 2023, so this August. And we believe this will provide for the most seamless transition for our students. This map just kind of highlights the current state of affairs. The large yellow outline is the Hunters Lane High School cluster. The thinner lines kind of designate the middle schools, Goodlettsville, Madison, and Neely's Bend College Prep. Kind of in the teal and the peach on the right-hand side, you've got Amqui and Neely's Bend Elementary School. And they've been zoned into Neely's Bend and then Neely's Bend College Prep since 2009. And before 2009, Amqui actually fed into Brick Church Middle School. And that's what that little purple area kind of designates. At the time, they had a non-contiguous zone. And so with that large rezoning the district did in 2008, 2009, we kind of made what's called a zoned option. And so those families can attend Belshire or Chadwell, their zone schools, or they can go on and attend Amqui. And we've got about 16 kids from Belshire that attend Amqui and another 20 from Chadwell. And this map just kind of highlights what the changes would be. So we would, 1 year at a time, make Amqui and Neely's Bend have 6th grade, then 7th and 8th, and then they would feed on into Hunters Lane for high school. And at this time, we're not recommending any changes to the zoned option area, so it would follow the same feeder path. This just gives a quick overview of the capacity and enrollment with adding 6th grade. You've got some great highlights on there that note that we've got some capital projects happening in the Hunters Lane cluster. Goodlettsville Elementary will open in a brand new building next year, and Old Center is in the process of getting an addition. And this is just kind of summary, proposing a pre-K through 8th grade transition with the addition of 6th grade next year. Students in this area would be zoned to Madison for 7th and 8th grade, and we can work with some families that may want their 6th graders to be with their older siblings. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Bellamy.
Lots of collaboration.
Yeah, I love that. I like it.
As we wrap up tonight, I want to end with 2 success stories right here in MNPS, and so both of which level 5 and reward schools. And so you see on the slide in front of you, Amqui Elementary School, a level 5 school here in Metro Nashville Public Schools, from priority status to reward inside of 1 year, starting a great tradition. Neely's Bend Elementary School, multiple years of a level 5 school, multi-year reward school, continuing on a tradition they started several years ago, both of whom will be part of the MSAP grant process, and will be IB schools that will feed ultimately into increasing success in Hunters Lane quadrant and Hunters Lane students with their IB. And so Amqui will be an IB school with an emphasis on global communications, while Neely's Bend will be an IB school with an emphasis in world cultures. And so we're really excited for more students to have the opportunity to avail themselves of the great education that the students at Amqui and Neely's Bend are already getting. What wonderful things are happening there. And next steps and how the board can support. And so we're excited this week. We'll begin engaging in the following. So we'll start communicating to families beginning tomorrow about the community meeting that you see listed here. It'll be happening February 23rd at 6:30 at the Nashville Public Library Madison branch, and where we'll be available to take public comments and public questions. And then the final presentation to the board will be here on February 28th. And so at that time, right now, we just ask for the board member support and advocate for capital improvement needs if this plan is approved, both Amqui and Neely's Bend Elementary Schools. And Dr. Battle, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chief Bellamy, and thank you, team, again, for your coordination and for the update this evening. I just wanted to highlight, again, the 2 effective, successful schools we have in Neely's Bend Elementary and also Amqui Elementary. A fabulous staff, faculty and staff at both schools, also coupled with excellent leadership. And so this is an opportunity for continuity. This is also an opportunity for
kind of a short-term solution for an emergency situation. And so we want to always do not just what is easy, but what is best for our students and our families. And we look forward to engaging with families and with the faculties on the 23rd. Also, thank you to Ms. Masters for your advocacy for your district schools and making sure that we're pushing forward with a strong plan of transition for next school year. And I just want to call out that, the decision on January 27th, but this will impact next school year's zoning. And so with a very little time, we did have to do something because it did require the district to respond. And again, the best thing we could do is to come up with the best scenario to continue to support all of the students being served in that community. So with that, Chair, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay. I will first go with Emily.
Thank you. I just want to express my support for this plan, and the questions I asked are probably some of the ones that y'all have around the capacity at the schools. I had a lot of issues with the fact that we have had our elementary schools zoned for an ASD school, effectively zoned for a school in a different district. And so, had a lot of concern around that. I have utmost confidence in Madison Middle, but I also understand, it would be a heavy lift to have 2 more elementary schools zoned there. B, this is my community. I live in Goodlettsville. This is my district, and Neely's Bend is a unique community in and of itself. It might not sound like a big deal to drive up Neely's Bend and across the road and up Old Hickory to go to Madison Middle, but for many families it is, and it really for them will take away from that feeling of a community school. And so I think, if you live in the Neely's Bend area, you're fortunate enough to be at Neely's Bend Elementary. We have the room in the building to add these grades. I think there's going to be a really high level of desire among the families there to do just that. We're also killing it at both of those schools. I don't know if y'all have been to Amqui lately. I highly recommend you take a look. And I think it's going to also ease a lot of anxiety for families who've been making that decision. Ooh, are we going to stay for 5th grade? Oh, now we can do 6th grade. Just to know they have an MNPS school that they can attend. Because I do think the situation at Neely's Bend up to this point has been, there's Neely's Bend Middle, but it's not really Neely's Bend Middle. So I am very happy that we are no longer forced to be zoned to a school that's essentially in another district. I'm very much in support of this plan. When it comes to the capacity question at the elementary schools, I ask you to keep in mind Goodlettsville Elementary, our beautiful new building, will be opening. And it's got a lower enrollment right now because it's temporarily located at Graymar, which is sort of, out of the neighborhood for those families. But I think that enrollment will go back up at Goodlettsville Elementary as well. Also excited about the potential for more IB supports at these elementary schools. As you know, Hunters Lane High School is an IB high school. Goodlettsville Middle is an IB middle. So we have that happening in our Hunters Lane cluster already. So I think that's the potential for some really great continuity of that programming for these students. So that's my pitch for y'all to just vote the way I would like you to for these schools in my district.
Thank you. Abigail?
I just had a process question. So next year we'll start the 6th grade moving in, and then after that will it just be 7th grade, and then the next year 8th grade, or 7th and 8th grade together the following year?
It'll be a year at a time.
Okay,
yes.
I figured. Just want to make sure. And then just I mean, I know you already have the answer, but I want to make sure everybody hears it. Making sure, how are we making sure all of our parents know that they all have the option to have transportation to Madison Middle School should they desire it? How are we making sure that all of our families know that?
Yeah, a few things. We will be sending out a communication to all families, if not this evening, tomorrow. We'll also be hosting the community meeting in the community next Thursday as well. And once we get feedback and get information, we'll continue to ramp up communication so families are aware. So to Ms. Tyler's point, every student will be guaranteed a seat in one of our MNPS zone schools, and transportation will be provided to our schools.
Thank you. I think this is a very impressive, creative, and smart plan. I think it takes into account the neighborhood. It takes into account the desires of the families who live there, and it takes into account how are we keeping our communities together so that they can continue to support one another. So I'm very pleased with it as well.
Bugs? How did you know I wanted to talk?
I saw you.
I do, yeah. I say this often, but the experience at Neely's been being a level 5 school and having it taken over was the thing that pushed me to become a school board member, because I was so frustrated that our state legislature would pass a bill but not consider what might happen 5, 10, 15 years from now. And here we are. 8 years later, almost my full term, and there's no process around what happens if the state, dissolves its own district. And so I appreciate that you all had to very quickly turn on a dime and make this happen. I cannot imagine the kind of forecasting magicianry that you had to do to figure out how to rezone this, but appreciate the thoughtfulness. I've just been trying to, kind of talk to some of my colleagues that were there at the time that made this a level 5 school. And I think they are really excited about the potential of continuing to have parents be able to choose a school that is high performing, that is level 5, that's a reward school. So I have nothing but thanks. Excited to see, how families respond, and, for you all to update us on ways that we can support better.
I'm so sorry. Ms. Cheryl? Just one quick question. What are the financial implications regarding this plan?
Yeah, there will be some. It will kind of work in phases. So initially, when you're talking about building out to 6th grade, we'll be looking for feedback from families at the 23rd meeting as well, trying to resemble as much as possible the middle school experience for students who are remaining at the elementary level. And then you'll see the same thing as you build out 7th, as you build out 8th as well. There will eventually be capital improvements that will be needed as we build out 7th through 8th grade. But again, this is a kind of a short-term solution right now to an emergency situation. In future years, there are other kind of scenarios that we're keeping top of mind that could decrease some of the costs, but at the very top end, it could take some capital improvements if we're going to maintain a pre-K 8 experience at both Neely's Bend and Amqui Elementary. And by the way, I know we've said Neely's Bend and Amqui quite often. This plan also supports the great work happening at Madison Middle as well.
And the reason I asked that is that I wanted to make sure if there was a need for the board to support in that regard, then we would be aware of it so that we could be consistent in our ask. Yep. I don't mind begging for money for the babies.
Absolutely. I mean, there will be some other expenses. I'll look out to the team. We'll have to shift some portables. We are very mindful. We always try to get all the instructional things inside the classroom as best as possible. That's just the way we kind of manage that scenario. At any community, we would try to do that. So there will be some additional, tweaking within the building just to kind of dedicate spaces to 5th and 6th or 6th versus elementary school. So there will be things along the way. We're trying to, in year 1, give us an opportunity to have an inclusive, supportive, effective educational environment for all students as we build out this plan. And so this is the best case scenario for us to do that at the least costs, I guess I would say, as we're continuing to dig into the pre-K-8 plan. It will require us to do some co-opting potentially with Madison Middle for athletics and things of that nature. It's funny that I say this, but it's almost good that you have two schools going to this model, so when it comes to staffing, it's a little more reasonable. We might see a little bump as far as staffing is concerned, but based on enrollment, that could or may take care of itself, but those are just things that we're paying attention to as we're forecasting out. Anything, let me look to the team. Is there anything else major that I'm missing? Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear the feedback from the community meetings, just to know where the parents and the community stand.
Yep.
I may actually go to that meeting.
We'd love to see you there again Thursday, February 23rd, 6:30 to 7:30 at the Madison Branch Library.
Okay, Ms. Buss.
I'm sorry, I had another question. What about the building? So that was one of the major questions we had, and I'm saying we when I was a teacher at Neely's Bend. What happened to the staff? What happens to the building? And no one could really tell us anything about the building. Was it so? Yes.
So right now we are in a lease situation with Leda and Neely's Bend until 2025.
Okay. Thank you.
I saw you.
I appreciate that.
And can I address one other thing? There will not be a recommended name change for either school. This is just merely a grade configuration update with the state.
Our schools build Nashville's communities, and so I think it's important that we kept that in mind as we are rescheduling and reconfiguring the magic. What'd you say? The magic tree. The magic tree. Magic tree. Yeah, it was a new word. We come up with words up here, guys. The wizardry. I really appreciate the type of thought that went into this and working not inside our own silos of trying to make sure that we can get it done, particularly with the time crunch that we were under. So I appreciate that. I also very much appreciate that we're asking for community input. I do ask that whatever communication is going to parents tomorrow, if you'll please make sure at least Emily sees it, so that we can get that to our council persons, because that's commonly a question that we receive. Rezoning is always a hot topic, and so that they can be informed and of course attend if they so choose. And then if we can have that feedback, whatever that feedback may be, of course, in our next presentation before we have our vote. Otherwise, I appreciate the work that went into this. I know it was an emergency situation and that it's a short-term answer to a long-term strategic plan that we're working on. But I think it's the right message and move.
One other thing I want to mention, just for those who are here with us or listening, this has no impact on our fifth grade transition. We are still on track for our fifth grade transition. So this is not jumping in front of it. We're doing both at the same time. So rest assured that it's still happening as we move into next school year.
Thank you for making sure that that was clarified. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that would move us on to public participation. We do not have anyone signed up for public participation this evening. So we will then move on to our governance issues. So I need a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda, of course, with the amendment where we removed 1E.
Move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of 1E.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? All right, seeing none. All those in favor, please raise your hand of approval of the consent agenda. Okay, thank you. That's unanimous for everyone. All right, and that brings us to our board committee reports. Today,
you still got to vote on 1E.
So sorry. I did forget this part. My bad. Are we needing to have that on a next certain date? I apologize for not knowing that. Do we need to move to a specific date?
I would assume the next board meeting.
Just need to remove it.
We just need to be removed? Okay.
Because of the state change.
There's one item in that needs, the rest of it needs to go today.
Okay.
State deadline to submit this special course application is tomorrow. They moved it in kind of, it was originally at the end of this month, and as the state tends
have to come to the mic.
Okay. So we do not need a specific date for this removal, just removal.
So what Jill is explaining is there should have only been a portion, one special course code that should have been removed, but we need all the other special courses approved because of the deadline tomorrow.
Yes,
okay, could you remind us of the one that needed to be pulled for?
It was a CTE one, so I'm going to let Rebecca Farrow speak to that.
Hello. The Workforce Ready Special Program of Study will need to be removed. The state previewed some upcoming changes last week at the state CT directors meeting. Based on those changes, we no longer need that special program of study, and it would not be in our best interest to submit that to the state.
All of the special courses need to be approved. Sorry about that.
Okay. So we...
I move approval for special courses.
Do we need to take one off?
But we need to take the CT one off.
But we have to take the CTE one off.
So you make approval with the exception of the CTE course.
I move approval of special courses with the removal of CTE courses.
Not all. Just the Workforce Ready Special Program of Study. There are 4 total on on the list. The other 3 we would like to move forward and apply to the state, but just the Workforce Ready for Overton High School.
Okay. So I make a motion to approve the special course with the exception of the Workforce Ready Special Program of Study.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do we have any discussion?
What just happened?
Okay, so is that a real question?
Yes. It is a real question.
Yeah, it's a real question.
Right.
No.
So Workforce Ready is just not.
So according to from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, according to the state, they had a meeting last week, and then the special Workforce
Ready Special Program of Study
needed to be removed because it wasn't relevant?
The level 2 course of computer applications is being retired at the state level.
I'm connecting the dots now.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, take me a second.
Got it.
3 out of the 4 courses that are being proposed in that sequence are changing, and so there's really no point in us moving forward with that.
Got it.
All right, I'm with you now.
Any other additional discussion? Thank you, team.
Thank you.
All right. All those in a motion to approve, yes, to approve the statement as said. So sorry.
If you're voting to approve the motion, raise your hand.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's everybody. I apologize for that confusion on my behalf. All right, we're going to move on to board committee reports. We only had one committee that met this afternoon at 4:30. That was the advocacy committee. We discussed a couple things, including third grade retention and some other pieces of legislation that we're going to be watching. I'm going to turn that over to the chair of the advocacy committee, Ms. Masters, and potentially Ms. Buggs, as she was there for this afternoon. So, Ms. Masters.
Thank you. We had an advocacy committee meeting at 4:30 today. We had a guest presentation from our Davidson County Assessor of Property, Vivian Wilhoit, talking about some supports that her department could provide in visiting schools and offering some information about what they do. And some curriculum work that sort of fits in with it. We then we talked largely about the third grade retention legislation and the fact that there are some different amendments under consideration. Actually, just while we've been sitting here, received an email back from one of the sponsors of one of the amendments, who has one of the amendments that would give control back to LEAs in a lot of ways, and I had been expressing to him my interest in that and learning more. So keeping an eye on the amendments that we would like to support. And then thank you very much for Board Member O'Hara Block giving an update as well on some other legislative issues that we should be keeping our eye on, both exciting and less so, as we move forward in our advocacy efforts. And then I know that Board Member Buggs was at the K through 12 subcommittee meeting today, at least for a little while. So I was hoping you might just give us a little overview of what you saw.
They just rolled a lot of the bills. So because there are 18 different amendments, they've decided to have a presentation by the State Department of Education and a few different districts next week. What is that, the 22nd at 1 o'clock in the Education Instruction Committee. So we just look forward to kind of hearing what all the amendments are about, and I think that might be my personal/professional opinion is that they will try to figure out what amendments can be merged or how they can rework language, all that jazz, and maybe even walk away with that from that meeting with one amendment that they will then review tentatively March 7th. Other than that, one thing, Representative Sapicki sponsored a bill that would increase funding from $200 that teachers receive to $300. No, he amended that. He reduced it to $300 to make sure that it fit the fiscal note was large, yes, but so to make sure that it doesn't come from TISA legislation, but it comes from out of the outside operating fund. So I always tell people, feel comfortable going up to the Capitol. If you have some time, go to capitol.tn.gov. You can look up the calendar. You can kind of see what interests you and just decide if you want to either go up there or just watch online.
And I should add, I have signed up to speak next week, so that we will have a voice representing MNPS there.
That brings me to another thing. Representative Sapicki also announced that there would be a new method for signing up to testify or speak before the committee. It's a form you have to fill out telling them what your position is and who you represent. So we'll follow up with our lobbyists.
Yep.
That'll be fine.
That's it.
Thank you for notifying us of that. Okay. Thank you so much. That brings us to announcements. So we'll start with District 3.
I always am like, why are you starting with District 3? But then, right. Okay.
Sharon's not here.
Thank you very much. I was not prepared because I was all worked up over Neely's Bend and Amqui going into this meeting. Yay. But thank you very much. And we have PAC cluster meetings happening, and they are, sorry, I'm in reading glasses world now.
It's cool.
Yeah, reading glasses are cool.
There you go.
Help me. Okay, so the Hunters Lane cluster that has been moved actually. So Hunters Lane cluster is February 20th, 6 to 7:30 at Madison Middle School. And then the Stratford cluster is actually going to be February the 22nd from 6 to 7:30. And I believe it has been moved to Stratford instead of the East Park Community Center, and it will be at Stratford. So if you have the one that says Hunters Lane and Stratford are both on the 20th,
it has been sent out.
Yeah, I threw a little fit because that's my two schools and I want to go to both of them, and yeah, so that's happening. And then also I wanted to call out that y'all may recall, if you're avid school board meeting watchers, that we are going to be honoring the late Lonnie Sadler at Madison Middle School. He was the first African-American football captain at Vanderbilt University. He was a Madison High School graduate, and just really a uniquely service-minded, service-oriented member of the Madison community. And that is finally going to be happening later this month. We'll have an honorary recognition of making the drive area between Madison Middle and Stratton Elementary Lonnie Sadler Drive. So I'm just so grateful to our facilities department and the Madison Chamber and Councilmember Nancy Van Rees for helping to advocate for that, and many members of the Sadler family as well. So that's just a snapshot of the exciting things that are happening in District 3.
Thank you. District 4.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to reiterate, Ms. Masters, I am really thankful to Dr. Battle and her team, as well as the Family Engagement Center, working alongside and in partnership with the PAC for the first time, we will be hosting PAC meetings in every cluster across MNPS. So all 12 clusters will host their first Parent Advisory Council meeting. This is historic. This is great. We're really excited. Parents show up, participate, engage, show out. We're providing the platform for it to happen. Now we need you. And so this is a direct partnership with you all. So to know your cluster and when those meetings are, we have put it on the MNPS websites, as well as I'm encouraging each board member to also post the updated flyer on their websites. Reach out to us, reach out to the PAC, Family Engagement. We will let you know where your cluster meeting is, but we want to get that information out. We do have 2 this week. The Hillwood cluster is going to be February 16th at Gower Elementary, and the McGavitt cluster will also be the same date at the Hermitage Community Center. And all of the times for the PAC meetings are from 6 to 7:30, so we kept that consistent throughout the district to make it an accessible time for families. So please let us know if you are needing translators. We are providing translators in some areas, but if you think you need that in your community, please let us know. We want to be as accessible as possible to really be able to support parents and families across the district. But this is great. The other thing is I want to send out a congratulations. Is it 50 students that were awarded the Bell Tower Scholars?
Across all 12 zone high schools.
Across all 12 zone high schools. We won't get into a high school battle, but I know. But we are really excited about that, and the Bell Scholarship, for those who don't know, it is a scholarship program provided by Belmont University that provides full tuition for students who are entering that program over 4 years. It's a full ride for 4 years through Belmont University. So thank you to Belmont University. Thank you to Dr. Battle. Thank you to the schools, all 12 cluster high schools, and your staff and leadership for putting in the work to really support our students. And thank you to our students for your hard work in those achievements. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
And shout out to Chief Sarah Chan, who's been leading our University of MNPS work, making it happen, connecting students to these scholarship dollars, getting updates frequently. So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
District 5.
Yes, there will be a Black History Month program at Jones Padea Elementary School this Thursday at 5:00 p.m. And then next Thursday, we'll be having our Literacy Night. Aside from that, Happy Valentine's Day.
District 6.
Yes, and happy Valentine's Day. But in honor of Black History Month, I just wanted to share, today would have been the 205th birthday of Frederick Douglass, who was born February 14th, 1818. So there's that. And tomorrow, Abigail and I, along with several parents and community members, will participate in a Day on the Hill, meeting with legislators from the Senate Education Committee and the House Education Administration Committee. So we have several parents who signed up to go to this event with us. And again, as I said earlier, the importance of this is to allow parents to understand that they can advocate for their children, and they most especially can support us in our advocacy. So I'm really excited about that. We have meetings set up with, I think, about 10 different legislators. So we'll be there from 9, I think our meetings start from 10 to 1:30 tomorrow. So if anybody wants to join, you're welcome to do so. Also tomorrow, Antioch High School will hold their athletic awards banquet, and I'm super excited based on today's events. I'm super excited to be a part of that as well. And Saturday, February 25th, Couture Cares will bring the annual Her Prom Closet Dress giveaway to Nashville. This is a free event where they will give away prom dresses for anybody interested in receiving a free prom dress, but you have to register in advance. You can text HPC 615 to 33777 to register. But again, it's a free event, and the dresses will be given away free of charge, but their registration is required so that they know how many people to plan for. And thank you to Dr. Naba McKinney for continuing to keep us abreast of the PAC cluster meetings. Just real quick announcement on those two for my district. The Antioch Cluster PAC meeting will be held on February 23rd, so Dr. B, I won't be at the Madison meeting. February 23rd from 6 to 7:30 at Antioch High School. The Cane Ridge Cluster PAC meeting will be on February 27th from 6 to 7:30 at Cole Elementary School. And just as a reminder, we've got the Southeast Easter event coming up March 25th. I'll share more about that as we get closer to that event, but that's it. So again, happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
District 7.
Glencliff Cluster will have their PAC meeting on February 21st at 6 p.m. at Glencliff Elementary School, 120 Antioch Pike, right next to the high school. So this will be our first PAC meeting, so we hope you will see there, and happy Valentine's Day, that we actually have a lovely, loving atmosphere of school board members.
Yes. District 8.
So the District 8 PAC meeting, Hillsborough Cluster PAC meeting, will be held at Hillsborough High School on the 23rd, 6 p.m. Also wanted to say thank you to the two organizations that held third grade retention town hall meetings last week. SOCM, I know you know what that stands for, but
Southern Organizing.
I'm going to stick with that. SOCM, great, was a great meeting over in this area. The NAACP, in partnership with EdTrust, also held a meeting, and both meetings used information. So just a shout out to Dr. Battle and Dr. Bellamy and team and Dr. Springer. They used a lot of the information that they got from the PAC meeting that you all held here a few weeks back, and well done, Dr. Naba McKinney, for making it happen as well. So thank you all for doing that and keeping people well informed. Hillsborough will be hosting the TSSAA or a TSSAA. I mean, there are like 4 of them, or how many divisions or whatever, but TSSAA District and Regional Basketball on February 17th and 18th, and then February 24th through March 2nd. So if you're interested in seeing some regional ball and district ball getting played, please come out and support our schools there, but also Hillsborough as a community as well. So, lastly, I said this earlier, and it's been I feel like a lot of times recently we say it's sort of been a tough week for a variety of people. I've been thinking both about our students and families who come from Turkey and Syria and may have family members that have experienced those losses. But again, I just want to take an opportunity to say it's been a tough week for people in the queer community, a tough couple weeks, and please make sure that we're supporting our students, our staff, and giving all the love we can to folks who really need it when they're feeling attacked, for lack of any other way to say it. So, thanks.
Go ahead, back to District 6.
Yes, and really quickly, my apologies. I got this lovely note from the Whippy family, and I wanted to read this thank you note. This was a thank you card sent from Dr. Whippy's family. As most of you know, Dr. Whippy served in District 6 on the school board from 2003 to 2006. He passed away in February of last year, and we received this note from his family, and it just reads, perhaps you sent a lovely card or sat quietly in a chair. Perhaps you sent a funeral spray. If so, we saw it there. Perhaps you spoke the kindest words as any friend could say. Perhaps you were not there at all, just thought of us that day. Whatever you did to console our hearts, we thank you so very much, whatever the part. On behalf of the Whippy family, we thank you for your kind thoughts and the beautiful flowers on the passing of my husband and our father. And that is from Dr. Georgia Whippy and the Whippy family. So I wanted to make sure that we said thank you and to acknowledge that we received that kind note. Thank you.
Yes, so the Hillwood Cluster PAC meeting will be this Thursday, February 16th, 6 to 7:30, and that will take place at Gower Elementary. And then I also wanted to say a specific congratulations to the 6 Hillwood seniors who received the Bell Scholarships. And I'm really proud of Hillwood, and I'm really excited to say that additionally, on top of those 6 students who received complete full rides, we had an additional 4 more Hillwood seniors who were chosen for a $15,000 a year faculty scholarship, also from Belmont. So just want to say thank you to Belmont, to Dr. Battle for making this possible. I remember when we were first talking about this, and I said, nothing like this existed when I was going through MNPS. And so this really gives recognition for the hard work of our students and gives them the step that they need to be able to move forward. And I'm just really proud of our Hillwood seniors in particular, but all of our seniors who were awarded this. So
more to come. Awesome. And I just want to say 2 of the students in the Hillwood cluster were my former students who received the Bell Tower Scholarship. So it was really exciting to see it go forward. Yeah. I do want to, I'm sorry for being Debbie Downer, but I do want to acknowledge that we lost one of our own here in the district. Dr. Debbie Booker was the principal of the Academy of Old Cockrell, who passed away. Her funeral was last week. I was able to attend the funeral. I worked with her. I met her a long time ago at Antioch High School and was a colleague with her at the school. She was very passionate about education, very passionate about the work she did within our schools, and was a great asset to our school community and our district community. And so I just want us all to keep her family in our prayers right now, in our thoughts and prayers as we move forward. And from what I understand, we're looking in the next or the future, the next meeting to do a presentation in her honor. So thank you.
Junior board member. Hello. So juniors are taking the ACT on March 7th, and the district is hosting free webinars every Monday in February. So we have our last 2, which is February 20th and February 27th, which will be discussing reading preparation, and the second will be doing science preparation. You do need to register in advance at mnps.org/ACT.
Thank you. I appreciate you remembering Old Cockrell, and we are, of course, thinking about all the staff and students that are there, and yeah, that has been a difficult part to the week, the loss of Debbie. Overton, because I always have to shout out the Bobcats. 17 students from Overton were made it for the 2023 Middle Tennessee Honors Band and Orchestra, which is a really great number. And also they had 7 seniors that received the Bell Tower Scholarship. So again, we're really excited. I know we said we weren't going to make it a school competition. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I am real proud of them. And I think it's a great experience. It's a great experience, a great opportunity for not just only our own districts that we discuss, but also for MNPS in general. And I think it speaks very highly of our work that we're trying to do inside of our communities, and of course, the respect that we have for the work that our students are putting into it, and our families as well. We want them to have the opportunities to succeed not only inside of our classrooms as we currently have them, but as we let them into the world. And we want to make sure that we're setting them up for success. And for a lot of people, it is making sure that they have access. And so I think it's extremely important that we celebrate that and those partnerships. We could not do that alone. And of course, it is done mostly by our staff. So we greatly appreciate that work. And of course, all the continued work as we continue to grow those processes, not only in availability, not only through Belmont, but through other schools, hopefully, family. And of course, if you are another school that likes to tune in, that would like to give us scholarship money for our students, we know how to use that. We have proven ourselves to do a great job at that. Lastly, on Saturday, I will be speaking at the John Lewis Way rally that's happening at the courthouse at 3 o'clock with Zulfat Suara and many other council members. And so they've asked me to be there, so I'll be there at 3 o'clock. And she, of course, also asked that we're all aware of it. Be there no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.